So, the age-old question is funded accounts or live accounts for trading? And it's a tricky one, I would say, especially when you're starting out. Nobody really says. A lot of people nowadays are going really, really hard on the funded. And I'll tell you why. The funded account is really, really less risk. Smaller fee to put up. Could obviously take you longer to blow it if you're safe. But in a lot of cases, it could take a week. But it doesn't feel like you've spent anything because you're just buying a product like you would every day. Whereas with a live account, a lot of people think I have to put 2 to maybe 5 to 10,000 in this live account for it to actually work. So yeah, it's a really tricky game, and I want to go through some points on how you can do it better. It's taking a lot of thinking on how a beginner can go around this, and I think you might come away from this video and think, actually, fuck that, I want to do this because this seems so much easier. The way I usually teach people is try risk as little as you can at all times. There is absolutely no need. There's to be gambling at any point with any money. There's no point throwing 10 grand into an account that you can't manage. So first of all, funded accounts, what are they? The funded accounts are a company gives you set aside capital even, for you to trade with. At the end of that course, if you pass that account, they will give you another set of capital. They will then pay you payouts if you have followed all the rules correctly. The only problem with this is they have so many hidden rules that a lot of the time you can even miss some of these little rules, and you will just get caught out. Some prop firms won't even tell you when you've breached. They'll just leave it to the end until you think everyone's fine and dandy, and then 5 months down the line you've failed. But that's just 5 months of wasted time, which is such a shame. Others will just flag you up on the smallest amounts of things, but that is a funded account. How can you get around this? To me, a funded account, and what a funded account is a trial and error. I don't think anybody should be relying on prop firms to be making the money. I think it's a little bit pointless, because again, you're working under somebody to get you paid. So with trading, what it is you are opening a business. You need to be relying on yourself at all times, making this income or trying to make an income at the end of every month, and that's always what trading is. But let's say in 5 months down the line, boom, you breach this hard breach. Now you can't get paid. Oops, what do you do now? You're not used to live accounts. How do you get a broker? How do you set up? So this is just another example of you still working with somebody else. That's just another way for prop firms to make money. You've also got to understand that for prop firms to exist, there has to be a lot of loopholes for people to miss, and a lot of people fail in them. It's all right to say, a lot of people are shit. Yeah, they are, but there is also so many loopholes that people are just failing. Delayed payouts as well. Also, they will delay the payout until it's necessary for them to even do anything, until it could be to the point where you can find a loophole and then sue them for something. But yeah, I think especially nowadays, prop firms aren't as good as what they used to be. Everyone really, really heavily throws prop firms in your face. But to me as a trader now, after so many years of doing this, they're not that good. So what I tried to do is try to create a way where you can trade a live account with the capital that you've got coming in from a monthly basis or weekly basis. And to do that, obviously, if you don't have a lot of money set aside, you're going to struggle. So the only way you can do that is putting something in weekly, putting something in monthly. So what I did, I rounded up my Discord members that, I teach every week. And we all had a little conversation. And I said, how about you open a live account instead of a funded and put in X amount every week? X amount being whatever you are happy putting in that amount every week. You could, if you've got a really good job, put in 100 a week. If you've got a not very well paid job, put in like 25, 20. It doesn't have to be a good amount, but while you are training, let's say, at the end of this training course in a year, when you are going to be a bit more prepared for a live account and read up, a bit more knowledgeable, you could then go, right, I'm going to take my money out of that broker. I found a different broker, which, I obviously know a lot more about now. I put my money in there. And I'm going to slowly trade up, scale up. That's what we do. That is what trading is. It's about scaling, obviously. Even a great way is put £50 in the account, trade 3% on it every day, and then next week comes around another £50 or $50, whatever you want to say, and then you've got $100. You've got $3 or £3 to play with it, and then next week rolls around, another 50s come in. It's like, whoa, it actually builds up a lot faster than you think, and then by the time you know it, you've got 1,000 in there, and because you are building it up as well as putting the money in as well, it really does build it up. And I think because you don't have all the news rules, so you don't have to be too worried. You could be a bit more laid back about the news. You don't have all the rules, so you don't have to be worried about breaching anything. This is just literally you and a broker. All you have to do is find a good broker, the one that is reputable. It doesn't have to be the highest leveraging thing in the world. So that's another mistake a lot of people are making, is going for the highest level and then wondering why they're not getting a payout. Like wondering why they're not getting the money back, because obviously, you're just finding a stupid broker. Find a really good, reputable broker that is going to, give you the money. You don't need the most leverage in the world. We're not trading 10p. So, you are still trading a decent amount of money. It is good. It is fine to trade this amount of money. And you can trade on a decent percentage on $20, $50, $100. The reason I said dollars is because it's the most well-known currency, let's just say, or pounds if you're in England, euros if you're on that side. But yeah, my opinion, personally, after so many years of doing this now, is set aside for a live account, because I think a lot of the times, from what I'm seeing, especially from people in my Discord, rules and hard breaches are just coming in so quick that people aren't even getting a chance to finish the actual run of the prop. So they before they've even finished, the rules flagging up. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. Oh, hang on, you can't do that. And it's so unfair. Whereas if you were just trading alive, I know nobody likes to see small numbers, but you've got to understand you have to start somewhere. You can't start, boom, £1,000 a week. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that, and it's not going to work like that. You don't step into a business and make £1,000 in your first week. This is a business. You've got to remember, this is a business. You've got to invest in the business slowly, and then after a year or so, you can start getting trickles back, and that's how it works. But having that overhead like a funded account, where anything could go wrong at any time because there are so many rules. Obviously, people can disagree. Fund accounts are the best thing in the world, yes. But it is just such a farce and a fuck about when you have to still work under that one person, which is a prop firm. In my personal opinion, let's say, so nobody, you feel free to argue this point. If I'm the person that wants freedom from trading, which is 99% of the people that are coming into this, I don't want to have to worry about the rules that I might break every day. Obviously, a lot of people know the rules, and it's fairly easy to get on board with the rules. But it is very, very also easy to slip up once on a hard breach. So easy nowadays because there is so many, and it's so hard to be perfect on a funded account. You can't be perfect on a funded account if you're doing that for 5 years. You're not going to be perfect. And obviously, it also depends on the type of trader you are. If you're trading twice a month, obviously it's going to work a hell of a lot better for you. But if you're the person that's trading 30 times a month, it's going to be so much more probable that you might hit a breach, something like that. Whereas a live account, if you're trading 60 times a month, you're not going to hit anything. If that makes sense. It's almost like saying if you're on your way to work and there is a load of traffic lights, you are probably most likely on your first chance going to hit a few red lights. But if you go over to a live account on your way to work, I can assure you every time you go to work it'll be all greens. Now if you put it like that, it feels like, oh hang on, that's the easy sailing option, so why don't you do it? You've just got to contemplate what you want. The thing is, if I can put it like that, it's not about what you can afford anymore, because even if you get a payout, it might be 6 months until you make $2,000. But depending on what you put into a live account, you might have that, you might have $2,000 sat in there anyway that is tradable to you every day with no risk. Obviously there's risk with trading, but there's no risk of somebody taking all that money and taking it back into their bank. This is your money. You can withdraw that at any time you want. That's the beauty of it. If I go to a prop firm and see that money, oh, I'm up $7,000 in this prop firm, I'll take it. Oh, hang on, no, I can't take this. This is not my money. None of it is. It's all demo money. So I can't actually do anything with it. It's all just sat here looking at me. But if I go into my live account and go, oh, I'll take $1,000 out, I'll take my girlfriend out, I'll do this, I'll do that, I can do literally whatever I want with it. That's the best thing about it. It is a personal bank account. It is an investment bank account. That's the greatest thing about it. So yeah, just take your time, explore your options. It's a big, change from whatever you're doing, but please explore your options. Don't just because everyone smashes these funded accounts, because I can assure you they probably don't. Everyone just likes to say they do, but they are a lot harder than they seem. It's very easy to pass one, don't get me wrong, but you have to. There's so many rules now in these funded accounts where it's getting harder and harder just to pass them because you can't get to that bit. So yeah, just take your time, have a look, see which gateway you want to take. By all means, just take my criticism. You don't have to take, he says don't use a funded account, I'm not going to use one. But just be aware of all the rules that you have to take on board. Go read them all, by all means, because a lot of people don't, and this is where they all slip up on them. So that's what I'm always seeing. But the people that do read them all usually have a better time. But what I've seen so far is the people that still read all the rules still are finding slip-ups. So you really have to just be careful. This is why I say, if you can lean toward the live account, try it. It will, honestly, in a longer run, which you will be long running anyway, even with a funded account, this is going to take years to do, by the way, so you may as well just start putting money in there. Even if you're training and you know nothing, find a good broker, just start putting some money in. You don't even have to touch it, just put some money in. You could open several accounts, have your live, have your demo, trade on your demo until you feel comfortable enough. Until obviously you start having winning months. Go, right, cool. Let me see how much I've got in there. Let me see how I can trade it. You will find it a breeze. And it's so much weight off your shoulders that you don't have someone else looking over you on every single trade that you have to do. But yeah, take your time with it. Have a look, explore your options. Don't take somebody else's word for it like mine. You don't have to, but please just have a look at it. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't want, obviously, people rave so much about funded accounts, and obviously people can have the say about live accounts, but you don't see people saying anything bad about live accounts. That's the thing. So it should really be making you think, why is no one saying anything bad about live accounts, and why is so many people complaining about live accounts, but why is also people raving about live accounts? So I guess, like I say, have your look, have a really good deep dive. Don't just take random people's words for it that you've never seen a video of them before. Oh, look, he says they're good and he's got a car. It's probably rented for a year or financed for a year, and he can't afford the payments, so he's just smashing the sponsorships. That's what all people do nowadays. So yeah, take time, enjoy trading. I'll see you all in a bit.